In this video, we'll build a quarter car suspension model in Simscape. The quarter car model is a simplified representation of one corner of a vehicle, and it's commonly used to study vertical vehicle dynamics like body motion, wheel motion, and ride response to road inputs. It's simple enough to work with quickly, but still detailed enough to give us useful insight into a vehicle's dynamics. Before starting, you should already be familiar with basic Simscape concepts like physical connections and R2C ports. Let's start by looking at a Simulink-based quarter car model that I made. If you already know the governing equations and you're comfortable working in a signal flow environment, Simulink is a very good way to represent the system. There's nothing wrong with this model, but I prefer Simscape because it's more flexible and customizable. One of the major advantages of Simscape is that common mechanical components already exist as ready-to-use blocks. For example, there are blocks representing the behavior of masses, springs, and dampers. Instead of manually constructing equations of motion with signal routing blocks, you assemble the physical network and let Simscape solve the underlying equations. Because you build networks in Simscape rather than equations, it's also easy to copy and paste sections of the model if you want to scale the system up. If you want to modify the architecture, Simscape is often more flexible because you can reconfigure the physical connections directly instead of having to rewire a large network of Simulink math blocks. With all this being said, Simscape and Simulink also work very well together. They're not really either-or products. In many workflows, they're used together, with Simscape handling the physical network and Simulink handling things like input signals, control logic, and visualization. In fact, in the quarter car model we're about to build, we'll still use a few Simulink blocks alongside the Simscape blocks. Now let's build the Simscape quarter car model from this skeleton model. The first thing we need is basic Simscape infrastructure. I'm going to add a solver configuration block and a mechanical translational reference block, which is the mechanical analog of an electrical ground. These are the standard setup blocks for a Simscape physical network. Next, I'll walk through the road profile input, which I pre-built for convenience. The road profile is housed in this subsystem. It is a sinusoid characterized by the amplitude, frequency, and phase shift. If you look underneath the mask, you can see how the sinusoidal road profile is built using Simulink blocks. I have a clock block to get the simulation time, and I multiply that by the frequency. Then I add the phase shift, pass the result through a sine block, and then scale the output by the amplitude. That produces the sinusoidal road profile. You can adjust the amplitude, frequency, and phase shift by double-clicking the mask. Simscape models are typically actuated by velocity signals rather than position signals, so I'll throw in a derivative block to obtain the road velocity profile from the road position profile. I'll then add an ideal translational velocity source, which will be used to drive the Simscape network. The C port of this block connects to the mechanical ground. If you try to connect the output of the derivative block to the signal port of the ideal translational velocity source block, you won't be able to. This is because standard Simulink blocks output regular Simulink signals, while Simscape physical blocks expect physical signals with units. To bridge the gap, I'll add a Simulink PS converter. Now, we can connect the road velocity profile to the S port of the velocity source block. Next, I'll build the unsprung mass assembly. I'll add a mass block, then a spring below it to represent the tire stiffness. Tire damping is not usually included in a quarter car model, but I'll add the block in case you want to experiment with it later. Since energy flows from bottom to top in this model, ensure the spring and damper blocks are rotated such that the R port is above the C port. I'll rename the mass, spring, and damper blocks appropriately and set their parameter values as well. I'll set the tire damping value to 0 for now. The tire is quite stiff, but its mass is relatively small. Afterwards, I'll connect the spring and the damper to the R port of the ideal translational velocity source. Now I'll branch an ideal translational motion sensor from the unsprung mass so we can measure its response. This block measures relative motion between two mechanical nodes, so we need to connect another mechanical ground to the C port. Since I want to visualize the position and velocity signals using a standard Simulink scope, I also need a PS Simulink converter. Just like before, this is needed because the motion sensor outputs a physical signal, while the scope expects a regular Simulink signal. The PS Simulink converter lets us pass the sensor output back into the Simulink environment for plotting and analysis. This comprises the entire unsprung mass assembly. Now I'll build the sprung mass portion of the model. Instead of retracing our steps, I'm going to copy and paste the entire unsprung mass assembly. This is a good example of one of the practical advantages of Simscape. Because we're building a physical network rather than a large signal routing diagram, it's much easier to duplicate part of the model and then modify it without having to redo a bunch of signal connections. The only thing I need to change are the block names and parameter values. At this point, the full physical structure of the quarter car model is in place. The road input at the bottom, the unsprung mass in the middle, and the sprung mass on top. Let's run a simulation and inspect the outputs. In the road profile scope, the road profile is the yellow line and the road velocity profile is the blue line. In the unsprung and sprung mass scopes, the velocity is the yellow line and the position is the blue line. Notice that the unsprung mass responds first and more abruptly to the road profile. That makes sense since it's directly connected to the road through the tire. The sprung mass responds more gradually, which reflects the isolation effects of the suspension. This is one of the main purposes of a suspension system, to attenuate road disturbances. Let's do one more quick study by decreasing the suspension stiffness by a factor of 10. It's clear that a softer suspension allows more motion, while a stiffer suspension can reduce motion but can also transmit more of the disturbance upwards. This simple quarter car model already illustrates the design trade-offs between comfort and control. In this video, we built a quarter car model in Simscape. To reiterate, the Simulink version is still perfectly valid, but Simscape gives us a very natural physical modeling workflow that is often easier to extend and modify for systems like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.